Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? Welcome to my channel, Ballstall Boys Towers. What a glorious day it is out today, and it's going to be a nice weekend too, so I'm hearing. But yeah, I've just been out in the back garden for around half hour doing my exercises, some press ups and sit ups, star jumps and things like that, because I'm not getting no younger, 54 years of age, so not doing too bad. You're getting there. That's the thing, guys. Once you hit past your 40s and you get into your late 40s, and if you don't start doing something with your body, it starts going south. And before you know it, you're like 20 odd stone. So I've always been very, very, very aware of my weight. And I've always been an active person, was always exercising. And I think a lot of that stems back from being in jail, and especially from being in detention centre, from being in Sen detention centre in the very early 80s. Getting through that sentence actually installed it into me. Fitness, it installed fitness into me. I loved every bit of the gym. A lot of people used to complain about it because it was hard work, but I'll tell you something now, if you could get through that all them years ago, that definitely set you up for later on in life. But yeah, I see many people, like fat people, running around and couldn't make it, and the screws used to bully them. But I've got quite a lot of content on Send. If you go back through my videos, guys, I hope everyone's going to have a good weekend this weekend. Anyway, what I'll have a little chat with you about is the subject which I was talking about yesterday is about gangs. And a big shout out to you, GNE, aka Jimmy. Thanks for watching my videos, mate. Thanks for giving positive feedback underneath in the comments, mate. I appreciate that, and you give me new ideas too. So thanks for that too, brother. Hope you have a good day and a good weekend. But yeah, I do read all the comments underneath my videos, and that's what I make new videos on about, because I don't really talk about many other people on my channel. It's all about me because I've got so many life stories. But today, this morning, guys, I want to have a little chat with you about gangs, and how they work. So this is how gangs work around London and all around the every single corner of the earth. This is how they start. The older ones always recognise and always groom the younger ones. So the recruits, they go into gangs, they start looking at gangs probably around 11 or 12 years of age, and a lot of it forms from being in school. And that's the truth. A lot of it that's where you meet your friends, what you're later going to be in a gang with, and there's always an elder to recruit you. So yeah, a lot of it is in school. It starts from school. Mine started on my estate, obviously, because I come from my estate and all my boys was round my estate. So it's a bit of a different ball game. But yeah, grooms, leaders or grooms start grooming kids as young as 12, 13. Right, so when they're in school, the vulnerable people, these kids with nothing, they come from a council estate, they come from very poor background, they probably come from a single parent family, they've got no structure in their life, they've got nothing, they've got no role models in their life to look up to, they've got no one in their life to say yes or to say no to them and to stop them and correct them, because a lot of these young kids come from broken homes, and I'm one of them. I come from a broken home, although I had a very loving mum and a very loving stepdad. My real dad and my stepdad used to kneel and murder each other every time they see each other. So a lot of that is in my first book, and a lot of it is going into my second book. But yeah, that's normally where it starts, guys, in school, and they start looking up to the older boys, and then all of a sudden, the older boys start like reeling them in. They first ask them if they would hold something for them in a way, or by the way of like a little parcel, probably, I don't know, with probably 30 or 40 bags in of joeys in, or whatever you want to call them, rocks or whatever. And they give these younger ones their parcels to hold, because they know the young ones can't get arrested, so they give their young ones the parcel to hold. And basically they put the fear of God into him and say, if you lose this parcel, you're going to be in debt with us. So yeah, that's as young as they start. They start at 13. I've seen gangs. I've seen people going. I've seen like people going into gangs later on in life too, when they've got no purpose in life. Like guys in their 20s, with no family connections, no family background, no structure in their life, and they think it's a better way out to join a gang. But yeah, that's how gangs start. They form. The leaders actually pry on the vulnerable, people that come from poor backgrounds. As I said, council estates, deprived, haven't got much clothes. They're very good at their job. These groomers, they're very, very, very good at their job. And them groomers, the ones that groom and recruit the youngsters, they're only like taking orders from the person above them. So it's a very large pecking order. It depends what type of gang you go into. But I know in my gang, what I was in, there must be, I don't know, 150 people in it. Stockwell, Brixton, all round southwest London. But there was always one person right at the top of the chain, the leader, giving the orders and passing it down. But yeah, that person at the top of the chain, you wouldn't think butter would melt in his mouth. He goes to church, he's got his own business, he's got a wife, he's got a family, but he was the one giving out the orders out, and he was the one who was getting the jobs, and that was the armed robbers. What we was doing, by the way, was getting inside information into like places like casinos and people who worked in banks and things like that, and getting their addresses. Yeah, we was going around there doing the business, tying them up, and bits like that. But yeah, I'm talking about gangs now. I'm going off the subject a little bit, but yeah, and a lot of it stems also from young kids, or actually sat in their bedrooms. A lot of parents think that the young kids are doing the right thing by staying indoors, not roaming the streets, not going out, not socialising. That's all well and good if they're doing homework, and they're playing a computer game or Xbox or anything like that. But I think you will find that some of them youngsters, that is where the grooming starts from, right in their bedroom on their phones. So yeah, social media really has played a big part of bringing more gangs together. Because I mean, if you look at things like the Croydon riots and Tottenham and that Mark Duggan, that kid what got shot by the police up there, look how quick them gangs formed and outnumbered the police. And that's because these days no one don't trust the police. They've shot and killed and set so many people up that no one trusts the police nowadays, especially the younger generations. They're brought up completely different to older generation people. We had a little bit of respect even for our local Bobby, our local cop of our local area. I knew his name, Brian, and he used to come around my house. He used to go into my mum when I was a kid, when he'd see me riding on a motorbike on the pavements. He couldn't catch me, but he'd go into my mum and he'd say, "Your boy Joey, I've just caught him out again there." That's completely and utterly changed nowadays. There's no respect whatsoever, and the reason for that is there's a few different reasons. There's a few different reasons why it's changed so much in the police force. Because look what's come out about the police lately. The people we're supposed to look up to and trust. They're dragging people in cars, taking them up the road and doing the business and getting life sentences down to them. So that doesn't help the situation at all. But let's go back to this grooming a little bit. So yeah, they first of all, the elders, they give the youngers a little parcel of drugs to hold onto, and they give them a burner phone, and then they say to the younger one, you must drop things off, and when the phone goes, drop this off here, drop this off there, drop this on. And a lot of them are on push bikes, a lot of them are on BMXs and mountain bikes, and it's dangerous because these kids don't mess about. I mean, I know it's hard to say it, but they're kids, and a lot of them are ruthless. They're carrying like 12 and 13-inch knives in their pockets, and and weapons what they wouldn't think twice of stabbing someone these days. The violence has gone up so much. Years and years ago, you had your hands up. Do you know what I mean? Bang, bang, bang. You had a fight, but nowadays it's all weapons, and that's why so many younger people are dying nowadays, because that's another thing. The bigger the knife they've got, the more glamorous they think it is, and the more weapons they've got in their armoury, the better. The more invincible they think they become. They think they become untouchable. Yeah, that's how grooming starts. It starts off with the elders giving youngers, the eye, and promising them the world, buying them a little bit of clobber, probably buying them a new mountain bike, buying bits and pieces for them. Bits and pieces what the kid couldn't get back at home with his parents, do you know what I mean? And a lot of parents, they actually pick up on it, and they notice, they recognise that their kids are walking about in new clothes, their kids have got new push bikes, and that's when you need to nip it in the bud. But to be honest with you, there's not a lot of opportunities now for kids. When I was a kid, we used to go over to Tootenbeck Common, we'd be climbing trees, we'd be going over the running track, we'd be going to fairgrounds, we'd be going to community centres, we'd be going to youth clubs, and there'd be so much about for young kids. But nowadays there's not a lot about, and I think social media has played a massive part in that, because you can be whoever you want to be on social media. You can change your character and completely change who you are. So I think there needs to be some rules put on many social media platforms to nail this, because obviously it leads from that, and then you've got pedos what are grooming young girls online, and there's a lot of hunters out there too. That's something else what I'm got going on in the background. But yeah, they give the young kid a few drugs, they see how he does, and they make him feel good. When he sells they reload him up again, and buying bits and pieces. They make out they're his best friend, and he's going to be one of the brothers when he gets a bit older, and all that old crap. It's grooming at its absolute worst. You couldn't get no worse grooming, but that is where it stems from. A lot of it stems from schools. A lot of it stems from your bedroom, the kids being in their bedroom, and not socialising with their family, breaking themselves away from reality, and going online and spending hours upon hours online. That can't be healthy for a youngster neither. Get your youngster out. It's a 6 weeks holiday. Take him to the park. Buy him a bike. Take him to a swimming pool, or don't just leave your kids in the bedroom. Especially if you've got an incline that they're getting up to no good. You need to nip it in the bud while you've got time, because once them groomers get into your kids' minds, then I'm afraid to say it's very, very, very hard to stop that kid from joining that gang, because that gang will show your kid more love and affection and give him more materials than what you possibly could. Not saying that you don't give your kid love, because obviously mother to son, mother to daughter is you got unconditional love, but they give him love in a different way, whereas they make him feel good, they make him feel very, very special, they put him on a pedestal. And yeah, that's where it all starts, guys. And we all know how it ends in gangs, violence, people getting stabbed, and it's getting ridiculous. But I'm going to leave this video here, guys, because I'm 13 minutes into it, and this afternoon I'm going to be uploading some more content about my life story and about gangs and about prison. So whatever you're doing, stay safe, have a great weekend, peace.